Raiders trying to send a message early. Let's see what the Chiefs have to say about it.
Last meeting, Week 10, Kansas City, a 41-14 victory. They held the Raiders to 299 yards of offense. Kansas City won the toss. They've deferred. Harrison Butker on the approach. And Tyron Johnson, the deep man, just off the practice squad. He's going to take it out for Vegas. Johnson tries to get to the outside and hit from behind. Push to the 25-yard for KC. So Derek Carr, who came into Arrowhead last year and led the Raiders to a come-from-behind victory, trying to do the same. When we asked him about the approach, Charles, he said, got to be aggressive, nothing fancy, go do what we're capable of doing.
Absolutely, and if I'm Greg Olson, the offensive coordinator, along with that, they are no longer a running football team. They talk about it all the time. They get their damage done when Derek Carr is at his best, pushing the ball downfield.
They had no offensive rhythm to start the game last week against Washington. Here's Jacobs trying to loop to the outside. Slam down. Kansas City's got the ball. Touchdown. The recovery by Mike Hughes.
The fumble with recovery by Kansas City for a touchdown.
You can't start the game better than that defensively.
And for Kansas City, I think it started in the interior. Chris Jones just ate up the offensive line. There's Jaron Reed, the beneficiary of getting a hole created by Jones and the rest of the defensive front, including himself. He pops the ball free, and Mike Hughes picks it up and dances in. The Raiders go from dancing out a logo to going to their bench saying, what happened? Because Kansas City is dancing in their end zone.
The headline coming into this game, the Kansas City defense. Not only has it carried its own weight, it's actually provided the jolt for this 5-game winning streak. And you're not going to get a better example than that right out of the gate.
And look at where they did on the offensive front. You talk about a jolt. They absolutely destroyed the offensive line of the Raiders. There was Jones, 95, driving John Simpson back into the backfield. Every one of those guys in red won their battle against the guy in white. Got upfield, got into the backfield. Jacobs, no chance, and then Jaron Reed punches it free. Mike Hughes picks it up.
Charles, they have forced multiple turnovers in 4 straight games. They force a turnover here 17 seconds in. Josh Jacobs, one of the leaders of this Raiders squad, one of the guys that we talked to when we asked him about the approach. He said he pushed a little harder in practice this week with the guys, focusing on the small details in preparation for this big game. Well, holding on to the football is a pretty big detail.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that you're supposed to take for granted because you do it time in and time out. Instead, it turns into a huge deal right out of the gate. And here we are, kicking off again.
I feel like we just did this.
You would be accurate.
And Johnson mishandles it out of bounds. The Raiders can't get out of their own way to open up this game.
Well, that's 2 mistakes in the kicking game from Tyron Johnson, because even on the first kickoff, he handled it cleanly, but it was a few yards into the end zone. Should have stayed in there and gotten the ball in the 25. They didn't even get back there. Here, just signed to the active roster. He misjudges a ball in the wind, and now they start deep in their own territory.
Line of scrimmage will be the 11, already in a 7-0 hole. Jacobs single setback. On a first down run, they give it to him, and he drives across the 15-yard line and brought down after a gain of 5. Offensively for this Raiders squad, this offensive line has been a work in progress throughout the season, and we're in week number 14. The backs and receivers, they need big plays, and oftentimes they need those big plays to get everybody juiced up on the sideline. They'd like to avoid that and just drive down the field and score touchdowns, get in the red zone, and execute. It hasn't been happening consistently enough for Las Vegas. 2nd and 5. Trying a long one over the head of Deshaun Jackson. And it's incomplete. Mike Hughes with the coverage. Defensively for Kansas City, After the rough start to the season, all the question marks, boy, have they ever recovered. And Melvin Ingram has been a big reason why the acquisition from Pittsburgh. Willie Gay, they're healthy. That's a huge part of it as well. And in the secondary, L'Jarius Sneed not available, dealing with personal issues. Rashad Fenton steps in. Fenton inactive last week with a knee injury. Dime package here for Kansas City, 3rd and 5. Underneath, catch, and first down. Grabbed by Hunter Renfrow.
And that's not a flag.
What is it?
That is not a flag. It looks like a little piece of marking, something you probably use to separate things, and it says hailing across the field.
I have to fight every instant to say
penalty.
Not a flag on the field.
Well, 2 things on that last play, Ian. Number 1, this wind is going to be a factor today. We're seeing how the ball is moving. Number 2, the Raiders picking up a 3rd down on their initial try there, something that's sorely needed. This team has not picked up 3rd downs well in their last 4 games.
From the 22, Carr steps up. Carr gets crushed! Chris Jones, Melvin Ingram, dynamic duo for Kansas City.
We talked about them the entire week, and these two working in tandem. Jones 95, Ingram 24. They end up separating a little bit. Jones first, Ingram to follow. And Ingram, he provides not just some good dance moves, but that physical presence, that extra toughness. He came along at a perfect time for this defense, paying big dividends early.
He told us he felt like it was a good fit from day one. He said the team has the same mentality that I have. Just go out, be a playmaker. 2nd and 17. Fake it, Carr, dump it, juggle, incomplete. And this has been a shaky start for the Raiders. And Josh Jacobs having his problems.
He had his problems. He had Willie Gay as a huge one, number 50. You mentioned them being healthy and Gay back in the lineup. His speed was sensational on that play. Read it quickly, triggered, and was right on the spot when the ball was tried to deliver. When they tried to deliver the ball to Jacobs.
6 plays on offense, 2 total yards. Rich Bisaccia and his team staring at a 3rd and 17. 3rd downs have been an adventure.
Look how Kansas City's moving around on defense, confused blocking schemes.
Carr, step, throw, low throw, Renfrow. And he's down at the 24-yard line. Even 3rd down, Renfrow can't get it done. It's a gain of 8.
3rd down, Renfro's a lot more effective on 3rd and 5 than he is on 3rd and 17. That makes it a little tougher for him.
Duly noted.
And I'm only laughing because the way this is going right now, if this Raiders team doesn't do a better job on 1st and 2nd down and tries to live on 3rd down, they've got no shot in this one the way that they're coming after him. A.J. Cole just signed to a big new contract. McCole Hardman lets it bounce at the 31, and it caroms out of bounds. Kansas City offense will take the field for the first time, but already with a 7-0. In our chat with Patrick Mahomes, he said, look, I feel like I can play better, but I also know it's about winning games, and that's what we're doing. So the priorities are certainly in order for Mahomes and the Chiefs. And understanding how well his defense has been playing and playing accordingly. Just don't mess them up right now either.
On again, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, not much room to work with, picks up 2. Quentin Jefferson, first man there for Vegas. On this offensive line, give a lot of credit to Creed Humphrey, rookie out of Oklahoma. Patrick Mahomes said he's gotten a lot of experience this year. He's just a good old Oklahoma boy that wears Crocs a lot.
If you're Creed Humphrey size, you can wear them. Do what you want.
Edwards-Helaire could not quite get the running start he was looking for. Held to a 1-yard pickup. Jonathan Hankins there defensively for Vegas. On this defensive line, when you've got Ngakoue and you've got Crosby, you've got the attention of the opposing quarterbacks. But no Denzel Perriman, more time for Divine Diablo, the rookie out of Virginia Tech, who already was standing out on special teams. And they do have Trayvon Mullen Jr. back in action. Hasn't played since October 4th with a foot injury. Mahomes emerges, throws into a crowd, and trying to hit Kelsey. Incomplete. Dallin Levitt there for Vegas and a 3-and-out for KC.
And what a settling defensive stand there for the Raiders. That was a huge help for this team. And on third down, they're going to try and double Travis Kelce when at all possible. They showed a two-deep look, and one of the safeties ended up dropping into the box area and being the second man to cover Kelce and help force that incompletion.
The punt from Tommy Townsend. Hunter Renfrow backpedaling, settles under it, and will make his move upfield. And he's buried at the 19-yard line by O'Daniel. 52-yard punt, 6-yard return. Carr will get another crack at this KC.
Celebrate every kiss with K. Progressive. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. And by Jardians.
Only 2 regular season losses for the Chiefs last season. One of them came to Las Vegas, 40-32, back in Week 5. Jacobs in the backfield. Kenyon Drake placed on IR. Jacobs doesn't have a lot of room to work with and leans in for a 1-yard pickup. Bolton and Gay combine on the hit.
And as we talked about in the NFL today leading into this, Melvin Ingram and Chris Jones have become a heck of a duo. There they are on a twist here early in the game. They get to Derek Carr. Look at Melvin Ingram, number 24, walking around, and now he ends up inside Chris Jones, who bounces out to defensive end. Jones wins the battle big time. Brandon Parker, the right tackle, forces him to check it down on a third down completion.
The snap to Mariota, who gives it to Jacobs. Shaking big move, flags down. And none of that worked.
I got holding 89. Holding 89. Let's find out whether Andy wants it or not.
I'm not sure Brad knows his mic is on.
Yes.
This is like Enrico Palazzo.
Holding. Offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's right in my vintage. When you went there, you went right in my wheelhouse. And take a look right in front of you right there. Brian Edwards, 89, holding on Tyrann Mathieu, the all-pro safety who's very comfortable up near the line of scrimmage, comfortable deep in the secondary, can cover man-to-man. You name it, number 32 gets it done.
So Mariota in there. Obviously, the Raiders are just looking for something right now. If it's a trick play, if it's something that can throw Kansas City's defense off. The penalties, though, continue to be an issue for the Raiders. Second most in the NFL behind Dallas. Carr throws it, and it's Mr. Dependable, Hunter Renfrow. When we asked Carr about him, he said, I'm not sure he gets enough credit for just how talented he is. Everybody says, oh, hard worker. He said, you watch the tape. What he does yards after the catch, amazing, and how he consistently separates from the defender.
He says he doesn't get the credit, as you noted. He said the moves he makes are like Alvin Kamara. But no one gives him the credit for that. But for this Raiders team in this game, if they don't start doing a better job on first and second down and get out this third and long, that's when they're going to have issues.
3rd and 11. Carr hammered from behind. Frank Clark. And a penalty marker is down.
Holding. Defense, number 35. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Wow. Charvarius Ward called for the hold, and the Raiders' drive remains alive.
So the Raiders hurt themselves with penalties. Kansas City's going to get the ball in great field position, great momentum off of a sack. They hurt themselves by a hold in the secondary, giving the Raiders an automatic first down. So now this Raiders offense, what do they do with it? First and second down yardage, vital. They cannot live in 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8. That's when Kansas City tunes up their pass rush.
New set of downs for the Raiders to work with. Motion man is Zay Jones. Fake the jet sweep. Carr has time, guns it. First down throw to Hunter Renfrow, and he drives it downfield for 16.
Beautiful throw by Carr, and you just mentioned Hunter Renfrow and his ability to get open downfield. Finds the soft spot in the zone, presents his numbers back to his quarterback, and Carr delivers. And what we saw right there, I believe, is the formula for the Raiders in this ball game. You can show play action, you can kind of give a hint of a running game, but everything has to run through Derek Carr and his ability to throw the ball downfield.
4 passes, all to Renfro. Spin move by Josh Jacobs, and he's brought down by Jarran Reed after the gain of 3. We send it down to Evan.
And guys, I think the velocity on those passes is going to have to be the recipe too, because it's a gusting wind. You've already mentioned it with some debris on the field, and it's coming from the Raiders sideline directly into the face of the Chiefs sideline. Obviously impacts the kicking game, but you've seen some balls lofted. It's going to impact that as well.
Yeah, you look at the weather forecast, it says, oh, high of 55, sunny skies. And then you get out here and you realize the wind is whipping in Kansas City. 2nd and 6. Jacobs again, looking for a hole. And they're going to whistle this one dead with a pile there. 3-yard gain for Josh Jacobs. Had the fumble on the first play from scrimmage, and now trying to get him into the rhythm offensively.
Yeah, I would expect there to be a ton of rhythm with him. It'll be a lot of carries like that, enough to keep the Chiefs interested. And what that carry accomplished was to set up 3rd and short. Now you're about 3rd and 3. This is where you have a chance to have success against this Kansas City defense.
3rd down for the Raiders. 4 receivers set, shotgun formation. Carr taking time, taking too much of it. Sacked again. Kansas City is setting a physical example with Clark and Wharton.
And let's see if anyone's even open downfield for Derek Carr, because up front, everyone won on the defensive line for Kansas. Stop it right there. Who's open? No one. And then you go back to the backfield, and that's why they've got it.
So the Raiders will punt it with A.J. Cole. McCole Hardman over his head, sails into the end zone, coming out to the 20-yard line, ends up a 60-yard punt, a net of 40. Raiders trail the Chiefs 7-0 in the first. 15th exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Yes, sir.
I know you and Evan are ready to go. 2 tight ends, flip up, caught Edwards-Helaire, and dishes out some punishment as he crosses the 25-yard line for 6. Well, this Kansas City offense, Charles, you've looked at the tape, you've watched past games. What are your impressions coming into this one? Of course, the Chiefs are riding a 5-game winning streak. The defense is getting a lot of the attention because of it.
Yeah, it deservedly so. But with this offense, it's just a matter of that patience factor. You know, they keep talking about being patient and taking the check downs and the shorter throws. They got to go ahead and believe it and not just take the bottom all the time.
Deep one, Hardman. Downfield grab as Mahomes was getting hit by Ngakoue. 44 yards on the reception.
See, and that's what you were asking about Kansas City. Listen, take the checkdowns, take the short stuff, but when it does present, you take it. And on the outside, and look at it, Mahomes taking the shot from Ngakoue and still seeing it all the way downfield. Trayvon Mullen, who's been on IR since October 9, back playing his first game, making his first start. McCole Hardman got him with what we call a stutter and go, kind of a stop and go route, and Mahomes found him downfield.
Motion man Hill, Mahomes faked the handoff, drifting, and he throws it away. Max Crosby with the pressure, and that's something that we've said quite a bit over the course of this season. That's what he's done.
They came in with 56 pressures. Now, for me, I always end up getting different numbers from different places about the counts, right?
Agreed.
So the number I went with was 56 pressures. I don't care where it came from. It's a lot of pressures. You don't see as many sacks as you might expect, but the pressure on the quarterback often makes him alter what he's trying to do downfield, and he did that as well with Mahomes on that play.
5 sacks for Crosby. He's been stuck on that number for quite a while. And Ngakoue, the leader of the team, with 8. On a give. Not a whole lot there. Edwards-Helaire, 2-yard pickup. When we talked to Clyde about how things are going for him, he said, you know, physically I had to recover. He was on IR. The mental part was the hard part. That was the frustrating part. He had to remind himself, don't let the physical affect the mental. And he said he came back in a pretty good mindset to get back to action.
Went through it last year, so that gave him a little extra experience to understand you do have to heal up. You can't just mentally rush it all the time.
Darrell Williams is in there, off to the side of Mahomes. Mahomes has time, flag down, lofts it, end zone, incomplete. Kelce had 2 defenders, which you better get used to. Everybody is sending 2 defenders his way. Penalty marker on the far side of the field at the 24.
But that was thrown up into double coverage because Mahomes felt he had a free play coming.
Offside. Defense, number 91. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
He felt the jump by Ngakoue. He saw the penalty flags coming out, knew he had a free play, so he wasn't being reckless with the football there. He was like, hey, this is free. I've got a chance. Let me give my guy an opportunity downfield. And there's Ngakoue, 91, jumping off. Mahomes knows he's got the play in his pocket now. Let's see if we can get something cheap downfield. Gave it a shot.
So this is a 3rd and 3 after the penalty. Kansas City driving. The long pass to McCole Hardman. Mahomes. Perfectly executed. Williams down the sideline, leaping. Touchdown, Kansas City. 23 yards.
This is all about this guy right here, because watch what Travis Kelce does in scheming this play. See that? He just walls off number 42, Corey Littleton, and that allows Williams into the flat with a little swing pass. That was like a well-executed basketball pick by a Missouri Tiger or a Kansas Jayhawk.
Well, there was the pick, and then there was the roll.
I called it pick. I know it's a rub, but it's a pick to me. I'm a defensive guy.
5 plays, 80 yards. Celebration for the Chiefs. They've got a 14-0 Mahomes. What Williams did against Las Vegas back in Week 10. And he's given Kansas City a 14-0 lead on the Raiders, who enter action 2 games behind KC in the AFC West.
Tyron Johnson cocked over a little bit to his right because of the way the ball curved on the wind on the last kickoff.
And this time it'll go over his head. Touchback. Considered the league's most prestigious honor, the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year Award recognizes NFL players who have exhibited excellence on the field and whose passion to impact lives extends beyond the game. This year's nominees: for the Raiders, Darren Waller; for the Chiefs, Tyrann Mathieu. So many contributions from both, including Waller serving and sharing nutritious meals with elementary school students, also hosted a youth football camp. Mathieu, through his Tyrann Mathieu Foundation, has long been focused on uplifting communities, which includes donating food and mentoring and providing for youth. NFL Man of the Year will be announced Super Bowl week. NFL Honors Thursday, February 10th. Learn more. Go to NFL.com/Man of the Year. Josh Jacobs, first big gain of the day downfield on the catch and run as he outraces Willie Gay for 14.
Exactly what they needed to, because they've got to gain yardage first and second down to keep this defense at bay for Kansas City. First play of the game, -3 yards. That was a fumble by Jacobs. Then they had 5 yards on their second first down opportunity, 1 yard on their third one. Now they pick up a first down on this one.
Jacobs had 9 catches last week in that tough loss to Washington, 17-15. Jacobs, a little dance up the middle for 3. Derek Nottie will get credit for the tackle. NFL Today update. Sent it to New York. JB and the coach.
A first for this season for Jarvis Landry.
Yeah, his first receiving touchdown comes from Baker Mayfield from 9 yards out, and the Cleveland Browns have taken a 10-0 lead over Baltimore in this key AFC North matchup.
Back to the Regal squad of Ian, Charles, and Evan.
Oh, JB, you're too kind. Too kind. It is tight in the AFC North, and the Browns trying to make it even tighter. 5 receiver set, 2nd and 7. Carr whips it to Zay Jones. He somehow secured it on a shoulder, but had to settle for a 2-yard pickup because Ward was ready to pounce.
It's a really good catch. And as we started this game, Ian, you referenced the margin of error for the Raiders being very thin. If that ball's on the front shoulder of Zay Jones, he has a chance to turn forward and pick up additional yardage. Now you're out of 3rd down. You've got a first down pickup. They've got to be very precise in everything they do in this ball game.
They're down in 5, under 2 minutes to go. First quarter. Carr looking. Incomplete. Jones, the intended receiver. And the defense was strong from Tyrann Mathieu.
And what's interesting already in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, if I'm the Raiders, do I want to go for it here? That sounds crazy in a game like this, but you're already down 14. Your offense is struggling. You can get the ball right back to Mahomes and crew. The right play, yes, punt the ball away. But when you're playing Kansas City, you may have to think a little counterintuitively.
A.J. Cole, third punt of the day. Hardman at the 9. Cuts it upfield. Spin move brought down at the 20-yard line. 11-yard return, 46-yard punt. Diablo makes the play on special teams. Mahomes and the Chiefs already up 14-0. Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. 14-0 lead for the Chiefs. 5 receiver look. Fake it. Mahomes. Touch pass to Hardman. And he crosses the 25-yard line with a flag down. 7-yard gain. Corey Littleton ranging over to make the tackle. Illegal man downfield there for Kansas City. The timing of that play was a little bit odd.
It was off all the way from the beginning because it appeared to be a run play called. Didn't execute the run with the jet sweep. Then when he threw it, well, you got linemen blocking downfield.
Yeah.
You know, they've moved their way downfield. They think the ball's going to be moved via ground.
8-year veteran Brett Allen.
Number 62. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And it's Joe Thuney called on the penalty. So back it up to the 15-yard line with 1:28 to play in this opening quarter. Derek Gore is in there for Kansas City, but he's not going to line up in the backfield. He'll line up on the outside out of Louisiana Monroe. Shotgun formation for Mahomes. Mahomes sacked at the 12-yard line. It looked like he was trying to back his way out of trouble, but Clelin Ferrell gets to the quarterback.
And he has not, from the top of your screen, number 99 in white. Excellent bull rush against Andrew Wiley. Walks him all the way back into Patrick Mahomes. The number 4 overall selection when he came out of Clemson in 2019. Hasn't had many big days in the NFL. Doesn't play a lot of snaps. But I believe last time he was here, he had 2 sacks.
Yep. Dime package here for the Raiders on 2nd and 18. See if Mahomes can get Kelsey involved. Mahomes looking, slings it, catch over the middle by Tyreek Hill, and loops to the outside with that raw speed to pick up extra yards. So that's a 10-yard catch and run, and now they'll face 3rd down.
And the extra yards made it 3rd manageable. Because right there where he catches the football, that is 3rd and very long. But with the Jets and getting the angle and getting it upfield, now they get an opportunity. 3rd and 7 for them.
Tyreek Hill is now 36 yards away from 1,000 on the season. That was his 87th reception. End of 1 in KCMO. Andy Reid and the Chiefs leading the Las Vegas Raiders a -44 in point differential and first quarter scoring. That's 2nd worst in the NFL to Jacksonville. As we start the 2nd quarter, Ian Eagle, Charles Davis, Evan Washburn, the rest of our NFL on CBS crew. Mahomes, plenty of time, 3rd and 8, pulls the trigger and hits Tyreek Hill. First down across the 40-yard line for 20.
The Raiders tried to play coverage on this one, only a 3-man rush, dropping 8 into coverage, but Hill eventually ends up beating everyone downfield because all zone coverages, when guys get downfield, eventually turn into man-to-man. And the move that he put on him downfield that turned Jonathan Abram, number 24, he essentially beat the man-to-man at the end of that for a nice delivery from Mahomes.
2nd catch of the day for Hill. Just underway here in the 2nd. Mahomes, right over the middle. Kelsey chewing up yards to the 40-yard line. Hit down low by Mullen. Give him 19 on the reception.
Look at him working inside, just finds the open part of the zone, and the ball's delivered perfectly, and he gets upfield quickly. Watch how fast he transitions from the catch and becomes the runner. That's that yards after catch that Travis Kelce gives you to take him over 1,000 yards almost every season he plays.
7 straight seasons with at least 70 catches. Last time these two teams met, he went 9 catches, 119 yards. Back to the ground game, and it's strong run by Williams. 7-yard physical style, good size, willing to get dirty.
Watch everybody get upfield and get on their guys and create this opening for Darrell Williams. Look at Tooney, 62. Leading up in the middle was Blake Bell, number 81, the tight end coming from outside in to get it done. Feel the momentum change after that 3rd down play. 3rd and 8, they pick it up right back with a quick play to Kelce and a straightaway fast run there by Darrell Williams.
2nd down and 3. Mahomes sells the fake, steps up. Mahomes still looking, throws to the open man. Caught at the 20. Pringle down at the 5. 28 yards as Mahomes just kept the play alive, waiting patiently.
And one of the things he's really been working on, talking about Patrick Mahomes, is staying in the pocket, maintaining that presence there, and finding ways to deliver the football and not just take off and go as quickly as he was before. That was an opportunity to exit, keep the play alive, as you described, found Byron Pringle downfield. I think the rhythm that they're playing with is much better when he's in the pocket more and outside of it less.
Pitch it, looking to go wide, Edwards-Helaire, touchdown! A terrific move. Littleton and Hayward could not get to him. And Kansas City is rolling.
Flipped it outside. There's big Orlando Brown, 57. Joe Tooney ends up climbing to the 2nd level and taking on Nate Hobbs, the defensive back. Watch Tooney, 62 right there. Look at what he does. Getting up there, 1, almost ends up getting a 2nd, but Helaire handles Corey Littleton himself and dances in for the 3rd score of the game for Kansas City.
Extra point time for Butker. And he connects. 21-0. This has been a dance-a-thon for the Chiefs. Touchdown for Edwards-Helaire, 7 plays, 80 yards, 4 minutes and 22 seconds. The Kansas City offense is averaging 11 yards per play in this first half. Ball came off the tee. That absolutely could be an issue today because of the wind. And Butker will hope this time it'll stay.
Because if it doesn't, someone's going to have to hold it.
You get the 2 chances.
Get 2.
And then you get a holder. Tyron Johnson is standing at the goal line. And the Raiders are just looking for something to get them going. Just at the last moment.
Okay, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? They have a designated guy, and it's going to be, I believe, Mike Hughes.
Just on the approach. The wind can be very cruel.
Yeah, at least the wind didn't Charlie Brown it, didn't Lucy it. You know,
true.
He got it before he got up there to kick.
So it will be Hughes holding it this time, and Butker gets himself ready. His team up 21-0. And that's going to be fielded at the 8. Johnson tries to make a cut, then goes to the outside, comes back the other way, and he's buried short of the 25-yard line. To help people affected by the southern and Midwest tornadoes, text tornadoes to 90999 to give $10 to the American Red Cross Southern and Midwest Tornadoes Relief. Our thoughts going out to everybody in that region. And if you have some money to spare, please consider giving to American Red Cross. Raiders playing from behind once again. Scoring touchdowns in the first half have been a challenge. Toss it to Renfro. And he ducks out of bounds after a gain of 7. Mike Hughes in coverage. Well, so far that opening possession, maybe the worst way you could possibly start. Fumble, return for a touchdown, then punt, punt, punt for the Raiders.
And for the Raiders on offense, who else emerges besides Hunter Renfro in the pass game? With no Darren Waller, will there be anyone else that gets the attention of Derek Carr? We know he has an incredible connection with Renfro. That ball has to be spread a little bit. Who else can shake free downfield and create a play?
Carr on 2nd and 3, hits the tight end, and he gives it away. Moreau loses the ball to Mathieu. And another Raider turnover.
And this won't even be a case of whether it's a fumble or not because the ball's popped in the air, so it's free game. You know, sometimes we wonder, is it a fumble or is it a catch and then the ball hits the ground? But it never hits the ground, so it's not picked up as a turnover or takeaway. It just stays in the air and turns into an interception. Nice job on the backside by Sorensen, popping the ball free, knocking it through the arms. Mathieu being on the spot is his fellow safety and taking it the other way. Back-to-back weeks for Sorensen, Ian. Big pick 6 last week. Another big play there.
75-yard pick 6 for Sorensen. Now Mathieu gets the turnover, and the Chiefs take over at the 39-yard line. So that's 5 straight games with multiple turnovers forced by the Kansas City defense.
See if he attacks right here on play 1 and tries to go downtown and pick up something big. That's the Kansas City personality.
2 tight ends in this formation. It will be a running play. Edwards-Helaire snakes through. And hanging on for dear life, Divine Diablo. 7-yard gain, but it could have easily gone all the way.
Yeah, he hung on for dear life and maybe dear 6. Keep him from those 6 points as you were referencing there. Good push by the offensive line. Trey Smith, the rookie out of Tennessee, with an excellent block, and Helaire almost sneaks through. And there's the man of the hour for Kansas City, Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator. First 5 weeks of the season, people were questioning things. All of a sudden, Spags, smart once again.
Mahomes to Kelce, takes a pop down low, up high, secures the football for the first down.
And that drop there wasn't for the first down. Normally, Travis Kelce gives that first down point signal. That football drop, mic drop move, that was telling them, hey, you can pop me twice like that. You didn't get to me. You know how boxers shake their heads no after a big hit, like you didn't get to me? That was Travis Kelce's move right there. Yeah, okay. Hit me twice like that, but look at this. I'm still up, and I've got the ball.
We'll hit the 10-minute mark of this second quarter. Give it to Hardman. Couldn't get around Diablo, so the playing time has increased because of the injuries for Divine Diablo, who's got a lot of confidence. This was a high school wide receiver, a college safety, and now playing linebacker in the NFL.
It tells you how the game has changed because he was drafted specifically to be a linebacker. This isn't a move to move him to that direction. That was, hey, we saw the body type, we saw the length, the way the game's played, we want more speed on the field at that position. They drafted him just for that, and he's starting to come on.
Shotgun on 2nd and 10. Mahomes hooks a pass over to Tyreek Hill. And he works it to the sideline against Mullen. 8-yard pickup. NFL Today update. JB, Coach Keller.
Bill, talk about hooping.
Now Baker Mayfield going to hooping Austin Hooper from 1 yard out. 17-0 Cleveland all over Baltimore.
One of the many sports that Iron Eagle covers so well. Yeah. Back to Iron Eagle.
I felt that was for me the whole time, JB. I don't know.
Number 73.
I thought you were thinking of me.
Is an eligible receiver.
That's what I thought. As soon as he said hooping, I knew he was coming to you.
3rd down and 1. Handoff, up man, Burton fights for the necessary yardage. Needed a yard, gets 2. Extra offensive lineman on that play with Allegretti.
Did you see how Creed Humphrey, number 52, stayed with it right next to Burton? He got moved back a little bit on the initial pop, but he never gave up on the play. And Creed Humphrey is a wrestler, high school wrestling, got to the state finals, understands leverage, and continuing to compete. Wrestlers never give up on a play. Dropped his hips and kept driving.
First down inside the 15. Mahomes steps up. Mahomes will just go down. He was contemplating whether or not to toss one to the end zone. 2 penalty markers came down right around the 5.
I think they're going to benefit from those markers. I bet that's in the secondary as a hold.
3 penalties against Las Vegas, 2 against Kansas City.
Holding. Defense number 5. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
And as a former safety, which you count on with Divine Diablo, is his ability to cover these better tight ends like a Travis Kelce. But they're catching him with a little bit of a hook and a hold on him downfield. That didn't look like a heck of a lot there. I feel like they called that a little bit earlier in the route.
7 completions in a row for Patrick Mahomes. Gus Bradley's defense has its hands full. First and goal for Kansas City. Oh, losing the football. Clyde Edwards-Helaire jumps on top of it. It came out very quickly on the exchange.
Let's see what kind of pocket Helaire has. He has a good one, but the ball just slides right through. Doesn't happen often that way, but it did there, and he's fortunate to get back on it. Had a trap called inside, had the guard pulling around to try and lead him up in the hole. He was fortunate that ball bounced in front of him. He had eyes on it the entire way, able to scramble and get on top of it.
Second and goal from the 4. Fake it, and then the bowling ball to Williams. Chiefs believe they have a touchdown. They're going to mark him just short.
We've seen this a few times this year, haven't we? The different arm angles Patrick Mahomes can exhibit from back there. And there's Williams trying to get there, and they marked him just short. This time, as you mentioned, bowling for touchdowns, didn't quite get it in.
Hankins got in there. Kansas City now 3rd and goal. They are inches away. Toss it inside. Josh Gordon. Touchdown. Chiefs. First of the season for Gordon. Every week you look at the roster and you ask yourself, is this guy going to play a role? Well, here he is.
And look at that with the 2 lead blockers, Kelce being one of them. To me, this was a twofold play. One, obviously, get it in the end zone. But number 2, if Josh Gordon's going to be a factor for them down the stretch, they've got to activate him, get him going. That was almost a gift touchdown to try and get Josh Gordon moving in the right direction for their team.
Extra point from Butker. It's 28-0. The Raiders have looked listless here in KC. Mahomes is dealing 11 of 13, 169 yards, 2 touchdowns. Josh Gordon gets in on the act, capping off a 9-play, 39-yard drive. It took 5 minutes and 2 seconds. Gordon with the quickest slant you'll ever see because he had less than a yard to work with off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they could have used any receiver to call that play. I think they specifically wanted Josh Gordon to have some success.
I think you're right. Butker drives it, and now the Raiders will have it at the 25-yard line.
So let's take a look at how they got this. You said less than a yard, right? Receiver here, and then watch, a blocker right in here, but watch Josh Gordon work inside and then work upfield. So you got the 2 blockers leading, then Gordon, boom. And the best part, the blockers didn't even have to block. That was one of the easier plays you're going to see. They were aligned out there to be the lead guys for him. That play developed so fast, they didn't even have to put a body on anyone.
On a handoff for Jacobs, and no running lane for him. Nick Bolton, first guy there. It's a 1-yard pickup for Josh Jacobs. So far this season, they've outscored the Raiders 69-14 in the 2 meetings. When we talked to Andy Reid, he said, it's not scheme. It's not a matter of teams catching up to our offense. It's execution or lack thereof. It's drops, it's penalties. Jacobs curls his body across the 30 for 5 yards. Willie Gay among those there defensively for Kansas City. And of course, this turnaround has been led by the defense. The fact that they have not allowed 17 points or more in 5 straight games. All of them wins.
Remember the consternation that was going on through this kingdom early in the season when they were struggling on defense. See Spagnuolo again rallying the troops. They're playing awfully well.
3rd and 4. Can the Raiders convert? They can. Hunter Renfrow, and then he loses the ball. The Chiefs have it. This is a complete unraveling by the Raiders in the first half.
The ruling on the field is a catch. Fumble with recovery by the defense.
Raiders hoping that replay will show that it wasn't a catch, but I don't think they're going to get that. It certainly looked like he caught it. Multiple steps, football move, all the elements you're looking for. He's tucking it away, multiple steps. Yeah, that's a fumble. Excellent punch by Mike Hughes. Remember in the first play of the game, Mike Hughes was the guy who picked up the ball, was punched free by Jaron Reed. Now he contributes a punch, and Tyrann Mathieu picks up another loose ball.
Hughes is having himself a day for KC. By Hughes, his 3rd of the season, had the fumble recovery for a touchdown to open the game. And it's all Kansas City, 28-0. Just under 5 minutes to go in this first half. Derek Gore gets an opportunity and runs into a wall. No gain. Solomon Thomas there.
The big part of the story of this game, turnovers by the Las Vegas Raiders. That's the first offensive play of the game. Ball popped free by Jaron Reed. Mike Hughes runs it in. That one there, Dan Sorensen pops it in the air. Tyrann Mathieu with the interception. And there's Mike Hughes knocking the ball free from Hunter Renfrow for another recovery by Kansas City. Tyrann Mathieu again on the spot.
They have 4 first downs. They have 3 punts. They have 3 turnovers so far in this first half. Las Vegas. Mahomes on the toss. Nice cut by Hill and dropped at the 45-yard line after picking up 7. Combination of Thomas and Diablo there defensively with Abram.
At the top of this game, our colleague Evan Washburn talked about the issues the Chiefs have had with penalties, with turnovers, just not getting going on offense. Haven't seen much of that in this game. And I'm seeing Patrick Mahomes in a much better rhythm. Ball out of his hand, willing to take the check down and let his guys make plays. And then when the shot is available, taking it downfield.
This play whistle dead. Mahomes looking for his 11th straight completion. But a marker at the 45.
Offense, number 87. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It's Kelsey. Downstairs to Evan Washburn.
Well, guys, the other thing that you haven't seen up to this point have been the drops. And you talked about where the numbers come from. Different services have different numbers. Doesn't matter the service. Most services have them near the top of the league. So that confidence has to be there from Mahomes. 2 guys are making the catches they should make.
Yeah, the number I had was 31 drop passes this season, more than any season with Mahomes a quarterback. 3rd and 8. Underneath, flag down. And Hill ducks out of bounds at the 46.
They might have got Kelsey again turning upfield just a little quick. Let's see.
Mahomes trying to indicate it's going to be against the Raiders.
Well, he's probably going to win the battle because his eyes are better than mine.
He's closer to the action.
Offside. Defense, number 98. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So Max Crosby desperate to get into the backfield. Watch Kelsey. See Kelsey starting to turn too? I'm trying to make my case. All right, I'm out. All right, Max Crosby. It's him. Gave it a shot.
Kansas City has spread the ball around. 8 different receivers today. Mahomes is 12 of 14. 176 yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half. A deep ball, too far, and a flag. Looking for Hill and a matchup with Mullen just back.
It's going to be a hold on Mullen all the way down. That was an easy call.
Defense, number 27. Spot foul, automatic first down.
Easy one. Watch Mullen off the line of scrimmage. Can't get his hands on Hill. Now he knows he's beat. Look at him. He's got both hands on him. And the ball's already in the air. Rick Patterson on the side there. The side judge, the field judge, able to make that call. Tough getting your timing back. Your first game. He's worked in practice the last 2 weeks as Trayvon Mullen. But game speed, entirely different than what you're doing in practice.
Yeah, it's a 30-yard penalty. They set the Chiefs up at the 25-yard line. Williams in the backfield. Motion man is Hardman. Fake the handoff. Mahomes looking. He tosses at the feet of the running back, Darrell Williams. Cleveland Ferrell got in there for Vegas.
That was really well defended because Casey Hayward, number 29, Nate Hobbs, number 39, they diagnosed that play and drew a bead on it. Smart decision by Mahomes to throw it at the feet of his running back and not put the ball in jeopardy.
Oh, stop the clock. 2:45 remaining. Eric Bieniemy now in his 4th year in the role as offensive coordinator, 9th year coaching with the Chiefs. 2nd and 10. Mahomes out of the pocket. Looks downfield. Flag is down. Mahomes throws against the grain, looking for Kelsey. Incomplete.
That's one I think he should have just kept going.
Holding. Defense, number 27. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
I mean, he had a lot of space out to run the football and just go ahead and pick up a first down. When he threw it back inside, he actually ran Travis Kelce into what could have been a big hit. I know they make a lot of plays and create them that way, so it's not a criticism, but I just thought on that one, Mahomes could have danced and easily picked up a first down with his feet.
The hold against Trayvon Mullen Jr. It's a first down at the 20-yard line of the Raiders. 201 yards of offense for Kansas City. Las Vegas has been held to 88. On the ground, Williams bounces it and then drives for 2. Met by Casey Hayward, who's had a terrific season for Las Vegas on the field and as one of the leaders on this squad.
Young secondary back there. He's the one they turn to. He's the one who gives them the tips, tells them how to be a pro, how to learn about what they're doing. Keeps them encouraged when they have games like this. Continuing to play hard as a seasoned veteran, former Pro Bowl corner would.
Counting down to the 2-minute mark, 2nd down and 8. Will they snap it? They will not. 2-minute warning in Kansas City, 2nd quarter action. Chiefs up big on the Raiders. Run away with that title, but the injury opened the door. Jonathan Taylor now a major force for Indy.
Just to show how dominant Derrick Henry was before the injury, Jonathan Taylor just caught him last week.
Yeah.
He's been out multiple weeks.
2nd down and 8 with 2 minutes to go in this first half. Handoff, Edwards-Helaire. Nice play by Hankins to stick with it and chase him down. It's a pickup of 4.
Charge timeout.
Check out big number 90 in white, playing with his hands, playing off the block of Joe Thuney. Pro Bowl offensive guard, goes down the line of scrimmage, makes the tackle.
Raiders have called the timeout. Coming up, Verizon halftime report. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Latest NFL scores and highlights all coming up on the Verizon halftime report.
Rich Bisaccia using the timeout, trying to conserve some time to get one last offensive possession before the half. Many would think, hey, is there any way to just run the clock and get out of here? But he's looking at it where Kansas City is. Wants to get one more for his offense to try and get something positive to go into the locker room with.
Kansas City 4 of 5 on 3rd downs here this afternoon. This is a 3rd and 5. Mahomes out of the pocket, has some room, he's going to run. Mahomes, first down, he gets hit by Nate Hobbs on the lower portion of his body. Well, this drive remains alive after a 10-yard scamper from Patrick Mahomes.
And he kept the play alive. I thought if he just committed and went, but look where his eyes are. See where his eyes stayed downfield, still looking for something before he decided, okay, I'm going to tuck it and run. Always trying to create something extra for his receivers downfield before he commits to running the football. I think this is something that he has really put a lot of extra time in, a lot of work to try and stay in rhythm with this offense. And I think today we're seeing the benefits of it.
The drops have obviously been a theme the last few weeks from Kansas City. So we asked Mahomes about working with the young receivers. He said, look, they know I've got their backs. I believe in them. We got a lot of reps together. He has not lost faith in any of them. Pringle, Hardman. Shotgun give. Edwards-Helaire redirects and plows in. Impressive touchdown, Kansas City.
And you're talking about where he gets jammed up early, and a nice job. That wasn't even a jump cut. That was a stop and go. Watch him sink his hips, drop down, realize he's got the space to his left, and then he jumps his body into that gap right here. And now the bounce, and then upfield, a good block there by Blake Bell, number 81, sealing the edge, allowing him to turn up inside.
Touchdown, last 4 possessions for KC. A rout. 35-0. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's number 2 on the day. Darrell Williams going back to their LSU days. Edwards-Helaire telling us when he got to LSU, he looked up to Williams. He was the guy that he turned to for advice and the playbook and how to compete at the Division I level. And then poof, here they are together in the pros, and that's a booming kick right off the crossbar. Love that sound.
Last week he boomed it off of that, and it went over for a field goal. Remember that on the 56-yarder? But this running game, you mentioned that relationship. Well, here it is in real time. Darrell Williams, that's off the swing pass, scores a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the flip. Flow one way, he goes back the other. And this we just saw recently. Finds the hole, ducks down behind it, kind of hides behind his big lineman. They can't find him, and he takes it in. What if Darrell Williams thought when he came to Kansas City, didn't I just get rid of this kid? Like, I got to mentor him again?
Carr gets rid of it off the fingertips of Moreau. Carr was nearly sacked by Frank Clark. And last thing on Edwards-Helaire and Williams, the best thing he said in our conversation right at the tail end when we asked him about Williams, he said his success can work off my success. So the idea that they are a team together.
Darrell Williams started 6 times at LSU. Think about that. You don't get that very often for guys who start that little at a big program like that and you become a successful pro. He knows how to work with others.
2nd down and 10. Carr, catch, run, Renfro. Picks up 7. Clock is moving. We're down to 1:24 to play, first half. Carr now has 89 yards through the air. Renfro has 73 receiving yards on 7 catches. Jacobs 20 yards rushing and 14 yards receiving.
And this is just pin your ears back and rush now if you're the Kansas City front 4. Frank Clark 55, Ingram 24.
Catch. Moreau gets hit by Matthew, short of the line to gain.
And here comes the punt team for the Raiders. Watch this body check by Matthew to knock Moreau off to the sideline and keep him short of the first down.
Tenacious Tyrann Mathieu. You think back, we worked that Tennessee game. That was the low point of the season for Kansas City, and everybody that we've spoken to in regards to that game, they've talked about collectively how they had to band together and really turn the page. But Mathieu in particular, the frustration was building each week. Even when they were winning games, you could see his frustration, his body language out on the field.
Remember those big plays that were given up and losses like to Buffalo, things, and you could see it as you talked about the body language. And it sounds like a bad movie, but this Kansas City team to a man has said, halftime in Tennessee, when we all kind of got together, played a better second half even though we lost, they felt like that was the beginning of the turning point.
Raiders fake it, and they convert out across the 35-yard line. So Rich Bisaccia, the interim coach, of course, special teams coach, Levitt carries it, and recognizing that they don't want to give the ball back to Kansas City. We're back in 30 seconds after this from Progressive Insurance.
Thank you.
Progressive presents At Home with Baker Mayfield.
Did you change the Wi-Fi password?
Oh, yeah, I did. It's 0@slot95 Hwood Duffy Texas Smash Post. Lowercase Texas Smash Post.
Okay, got it. All right, check that out.
Bernie Kosar, Cleveland's greatest quarterback.
You look good.
What an arm.
Yeah, I mean, I really used to like watching you play when I was 3, but...
So this drive keeps going for the Raiders after converting on a 4th down fake punt. 54 seconds to play in this second quarter. First down now, just short of the 38-yard line for Las Vegas. Coming up, Verizon halftime report. JB and the gang. Scores, highlights, week 14 in the NFL. All coming up on the Verizon halftime report. If this holds, it would tie the biggest halftime lead in franchise history, 35 points. First down, Carr, throw it, catch made by Jacobs, out of bounds, 5 yards. Josh Jacobs told us very bluntly, Kansas City, they're the team to beat in the division. They've been excellent since the day he got to the Raiders, and it ticks him off. He used a different word.
Well, the direct quote, remember, if I wrote down was, I genuinely do not like these dudes.
He added that. And then he did say, but I must admit, I love playing at Arrowhead. It's what I dreamed of as a kid, what the NFL is supposed to feel like. Carr on the move, throws it high, hauled in, Moreau, and he will get out of bounds. First down for Las Vegas, out near midfield.
Nice play by Moreau out in the open field, being able to make someone miss and continuing to fight and scrap and try and gain some yardage here. But for Josh Jacobs coming from Alabama, playing in a place like this, that's what he was used to. That's what he wanted to see. And even if you are the enemy going in there, heck, when you're playing for Alabama, you love to go places on the road and be that team that's hated. So Josh Jacobs probably referencing those days as well.
And he's also from Tulsa, Oklahoma, so the region. Carr will chuck it out of bounds. Chris Jones with the heat on Derek Carr.
Chris Jones tried his best to be a defensive end full-time, didn't he? I mean, he really worked at it, talked himself in, talked to his coaches. Can I be a defensive end? Can I be an outside guy? But where he is at his best, where he is an all-pro player, is back at defensive tackle, working inside over the guards. And with Melvin Ingram being here, the respect he has for Melvin Ingram, he willingly kicked back inside. And now they are a tandem that's a force to deal with.
Shotgun on 2nd and 10. Carr steps up. Short toss, bobble, catch. Jacobs, good move. And gets out of bounds after the first down. 13 yards on the pitch and catch. 28 seconds left on the clock. This is the first play in Kansas City territory for the Las Vegas Raiders.
After the play was over, taunting, number 32, defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And it's Tyrann Mathieu. So we talked about the emotions of Mathieu.
32's first for disqualification.
And he didn't accept it with any, okay, I understand. I see why you threw it. He's still letting Boris Cheek decide Judge Abbott about that. I thought I heard it come through. Well, go ahead and throw it then. That's how you feel about it. And that's where the taunting is with him talking to the bench of the Raiders coming off the sideline.
So now they place the football at the 22-yard line of Kansas City. Shotgun Carr. Fake the give. Carr steps up. And he will toss it high out of bounds. Chris Jones once again applying pressure on Derek Carr, who's now 13 of 20 for 116 yards and a pick.
That's 95 in red. Look at the hand usage and his ability to go past Brandon Park, even getting chipped there by Josh Jacobs. So many pass rushers tell me it's not usually the first move that gets me to the quarterback. It's if I stay with it, my second, my third move, extra effort. We saw it there on that play with Chris Jones.
From the gun, Carr, step, throw, end zone, incomplete, flags down. Ward and Jones, and for a moment it looked like Jones was the defender.
Yeah, this is going to probably be offensive interference. I think you called it perfectly. There's Ward on the inside of Zay Jones. Now watch Zay Jones grab Ward to move him to keep him from getting to the football. You nailed it. Zay Jones became the defensive back on that play.
And these two teams coming together with the officials trying to get in between them with 16 seconds to go in the second quarter. You know, this is stuff that normally happens fourth quarter.
Yeah, but the way the Raiders came in, desperate to get a win, desperate to stay in the race, stomping on the logo in pregame, and then the way the game started and how it's gone in the first half, their frustration is going to bubble over long before the fourth quarter, and we're seeing it right now.
And Willie Gay is riling up Chiefs Kingdom. So Brad Allen is over on the Kansas City sideline to talk with Andy Reid.
There are 2 fouls by the offense. Pass interference. Offense number 7. That penalty is declined. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct number 76. Offense. 15-yard penalty. The down counts. Third down.
And that's John Simpson, the young offensive lineman from Clemson.
Think about everything that went into this drive, Ian. Remember they called the timeout on Kansas City's last offensive possession for a touchdown? And we'll see John Simpson, 76, come into the mat. And right now, so he comes in late and picks up the flag because he's right in front of the officials. But they called the timeout to try and get this last drive. They faked it a punt on 4th down to keep this drive alive. Can you imagine if they go into the half getting nothing after all of that?
3rd and 25 for the Raiders. Carr steps up, tosses to Jacobs, yards after the catch, and he's dumped inside the 30 by Rashad Fenton.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer, defense number 95. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Chris Jones called on the penalty after Carr released it. Low.
Yeah, that's where they're going to get him. Going down on the lower half of his body as it's over. And Chris Jones, that's the one mistake he's made in this first half. He's been absolutely dominant throughout this ball game.
So only 8 seconds remain on the clock.
Please reset the game clock to 10 seconds.
As I said, only 10 seconds remain on the clock.
And for the Raiders, no timeouts left, correct? So they've got to make this thing work if you want to get anything.
Connection made, and it's Renfro hit along the sideline. 7 seconds left. They pick up 6.
Clock didn't run very much on that one, did it? I thought there was 8 to start.
No, they tacked on 2.
Okay, my bad.
So it was 10 seconds.
That was the 10 that you told him to put on. That's right.
There you go. 8th catch of the half for Renfro. 8 targets, 8 catches, 79 yards. And the fumble recovered by Kansas City.
Has to go into the end zone on this play. Otherwise, you get tackled the field of play. This half's going to end on you with nothing.
Carr, 5 seconds. Nobody home. He threw it in the direction of Renfro, and now the field goal unit will come on.
Kansas City forced the issue. Steve Spagnuolo, defense coordinator, said, all right, send everyone. including the secondary. So Matthew jump up there. Coverage by Hughes. Ball has to be out of Carr's hands so quickly, he can't get anything on it. No chance for Renfro to come back for that one.
Final seconds here. Daniel Carlson will kick a 26-yard field goal for the Raiders, just trying to get points on the board before the break. Carlson signed to a big new contract during the week, and he knocks it through as time expires here in the first half. Kansas City puts up 35 points on the Raiders. End of the first half, 35-3. KC. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local.
Dichotomy of the Buffalo Bills. They play in a storm on Monday night versus a rookie quarterback. Now they're going to be playing in 84-degree weather against the greatest quarterback of all time in Tom Brady. Listen, he's going to throw more than 5 passes today against this Bills defense. A lot of pressure on Josh Allen. Now in the other game, you have Jimmy Garoppolo going on the road against the Cincinnati Bengals. This game features best pass rushers, I believe, in the NFL. Trey Hendrickson for the Bengals has 8 straight games with a sack. Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be under pressure. When he's under pressure, he throws interceptions. As long as the Bengals don't turn it over, they win today.
We're at that part of the season where I can see the gleam is even brighter in your eyes.
Start of the second half here in Kansas City with the Chiefs in front, 35-3 on the Raiders. This season, Crown Royal is supporting the small places that make game day big. Join us to unlock your support at kickoff with Crown.com. Here in the broadcast booth, Ian Eagle along with Charles Davis, Evan Washburn down on the sidelines. This as lopsided as we've seen a first half in the NFL this season. Didn't start well for the Raiders, and they never really found their way.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here holding this football, and here's how it started. Yannick Ngakoue bringing his team to the logo at midfield, which is always a challenge to another team when you go on their logo on their field. First offensive play of the game, though. Josh Jacobs fumbles, Jarran Reed pops it free, and it's picked up by Mike Hughes. And here was the third turnover of the first half. That one knocked free by Mike Hughes. Tyrann Mathieu recovers it. Both of those touchdowns as a result for Kansas City, and the route has been on.
And remember, Kansas City won the toss and deferred to the second half, so the Chiefs will have the football to open up this third quarter. Kansas City is focused on that #1 seed. When we talked to Patrick Mahomes, he said, you can't get to the playoffs just going through the motions. That's what the Tennessee game reminded us of. Go out, get what we believe is ours, and they're not going to be satisfied until they get the #1 seed and make a run at the Super Bowl. Pringle, return man, trying to get to the outside, and he's chucked down short of the 25-yard line. Downstairs to Evan.
Not much to say, guys, when you're down 32 points, but Rich Bisaccia did say that he hopes that that score before half gives his team a little bit of momentum. Obviously, primary concern, just taking care of the ball. Can't have 3 turnovers. His overall message, though, is we're going to find out a lot about ourselves, either good or bad, in the next 2 quarters.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Evan, they've dropped 4 of their last 5. They started the season 5-2, showed a lot of promise early. Raiders have run 35 plays. The Chiefs have put up 35 points. There's a hole for Edwards-Helaire. Hit by the veteran K.J. Wright, 4-yard pickup. The numbers, not surprisingly, overwhelmingly in favor of one side.
3 turnovers, and look at points off of turnovers. Those 3 turnovers turned into 21 points for Kansas City.
Edwards-Helaire set up initially on the outside. Now he shifts just off to the side of Mahomes. Mahomes trying to get out of trouble. Cannot. And Ngakoue gets to the quarterback.
Top of the screen, number 91 in white, work against Orlando Brown, the Pro Bowl left tackle, and just takes him upfield. With a slight hesitancy to throw it downfield, meaning the coverage was good. Patrick Mahomes taking care of the football. Ngakoue took care of Mahomes.
And the 9th sack of the season for the Maryland product, Yannick Ngakoue.
He's got a nice little run going. He's had 6 straight seasons with 8 or more sacks.
Loss of 11 on the play. 3rd and 17. Can the Raiders defense get off the field here? Mahomes pats the ball. Loops out of trouble. Buys time. Tosses across field. Caught! Tyreek Hill. Mahomes on the money.
Last week we watched Justin Herbert from Los Angeles Chargers make a throw from all the way across the field on the backside. And we said you can't have that play in your playbook unless you have a guy like him. Patrick Mahomes is that guy. Tyreek Hill getting some assistance after making that big play.
38 yards. Hill needed some assistance to sit up at the end of this play.
But Ian, what Hill did was he ended up going away from Mahomes to create an opening. You only do that when you have a quarterback with that kind of an arm.
We'll step aside here. Tyreek Hill was in the medical tent. Looked like there was some blood, may have bit his lip as he took a hard shot after the catch. And Reggie-Lair running into a crowd led by Max Crosby, 2-yard gain.
And Ian, in most scramble drills, receivers want to get into the sight line of their quarterback. But watch Tyreek Hill. See the spotlight downfield? He actually goes away from the side his quarterback rolled to. And the reason he's able to do that is he understands the arm strength and the ability of Patrick Mahomes to create and get the football to him. And there's the big hit that you referenced that led to his visit to the medical tent. But receivers, as a general rule, you don't go away from where your quarterback's rolling, you go towards it.
Toss it to Hardman. Mahomes has now completed 12 of his last 13 passes. Yeah. Tyreek Hill, everything okay? Yep, all good.
Holding. Offense, number 87. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Yeah, just mutual respect there because there's nothing dirty about the play from Abram. Just a good hard hit that Hill absorbed.
Back it up after the hold on Kelsey, so they're going to send it back to Kansas City territory. And we send it downstairs to Evan.
And guys, too, by rule, when there's a cut in the mouth, he does have to go through some of the initial procedures of the concussion protocol. That's why you see the UNC going in there and also to the videotape, but it appears he'll be okay.
And it appears he's working on that gum already, so
yeah,
not an issue.
Looks like he cleared the procedure pretty easily. That's a good sign.
Second down and 18. Mahomes pats the ball. Gets out of there. Tuck and run. Out of bounds. You know, that's part of the conversation with Mahomes that we had. We asked him this year, what have you learned? So, what I've learned is don't push the envelope quite as much as I've had to maybe, or I thought I had to in the past. Trust the defense. Trust the special teams. It's translating into wins.
What I'm seeing from him today reminds me of Aaron Rodgers a few years ago, where every snap he was starting to move very quickly. Kind of, I'll create and then we'll work it from there. He had gotten a little bit into that. I think in this game, he's showing that trust of the offensive line, letting plays develop and only going when he has to. And their rhythm is much better on offense.
Third down and 8, directing traffic, throws, sideline, catch, Hardman. First down. Now we have an injured Raider on the play. It's Mullen, who just came back from injury. 15-yard completion to move the chains.
His creativity and ability to deliver when that guy shakes free, second to none in the game for Patrick Mahomes. He is moving in the backfield there and allows Mecole Hardman to find that open grass and the ability to catch the football. And that's something Hardman needs. He needs positive plays. His playing time has gone down in recent weeks. He was averaging almost 46 plays per ball game. And in the previous 3 games he's played, 45 plays total. So Mecole Hardman looking for something good to happen to get him on the field a little bit more again.
Mullen got clubbed by Josh Gordon and now is on the sideline for the Raiders. First down inside the 30. Fake it. Mahomes drifts. Tosses to Williams. Brought down around the waist by Nate Hobbs, who has been a terrific defender in the slot in his rookie season out of Illinois. 5-yard pickup through the air, and really enjoyed our conversation with him. The maturity that he believes he discovered in his junior Smith at Illinois. He admitted it. Hey, I was a problem child.
Chances, and he said, I'm so glad that man stuck with me and gave me that opportunity. Don't forget, he came out of college school and he won out of school.
Toss it down the sideline. Moves being made. Tyreek Hill hit inside the 5. Penalty marker is up the 3-yard line on the near side of the field. That play took place on the far side.
Number 56, offense. 5-yard penalty.
Coming back.
Yeah, the down judge, Danny Short, had that call. Orlando Brown, the tackle. He got him for being downfield too far as that play developed.
Their 1,000-yard season. The 4th of his career.
Following enforcement of the penalty. Second down.
Second down at 10 now from the 28. Kelsey sets up on the outside. 2 catches, 26 yards for Travis Kelsey. Mahomes steps up, and Mahomes gets plastered. Kuntz makes it for himself. Rich Bisaccia, they've seen this from him for a while, so they're not surprised. It's just been about opportunity. Called him a young man, rookie from Buffalo.
That pass rush, a lot of people call that a bull rush. It's what a lot of like to use is called long arm technique. Inside arm, get it extended against the chest of the offensive lineman, drive him back. That took him to the quarterback. For a young pass, good arsenal of pass rush moves and techniques. Now getting more down the field.
Brings a burst off the edge. 6'2", 250. Mahomes, pump and throw. Raiders in the area with a catch made. Crosby and take care of the player.
So Rich Bisaccia told Evan Washburn that we're going to find out about different guys and who we are coming out down 35-3. We're early in the quarter. That tells me a lot about this Raiders defense. They were moving it so well against them, yet found a way to rise up and force a field goal with some good on the stretch.
Last year had a 56-yarder. This one is from 54 yards away. Will snap it. The holder is Townsend. 54-yard attempt. Harrison Butker drills it. Extended lead. 38-3 with 8. Don't go one hand. That's risky. With 2 hands on the bars. And the ball comes off the tee. So are we going to, are they going to give it another chance, or will they just bring the holder out, Hughes?
Mike Hughes said go two. I'm not just jumping in.
All right. Okay. Try it again. Butker has gotten quite a workout when his team has put up points.
He did a few short shuttles between and
he's feeling
set up,
feeling the burn. Returnable for Johnson. Hard cut by Johnson, slips through across the 30-yard line.
Patrick Mahomes, Red Raiders. Balls last week in a classic over Garden, I believe.
Toss it. He was ready for the contact from Bolton. And yeah, we know that. Texas Tech came up short, though, against Virginia for the 2019 National Championship.
He was a little bummed out. He wanted to take the last shot in that game.
Look,
Coach Beard, I got it.
I don't doubt that he could do anything he wants to do athletically. Second short throw, creating finds a little crack to turn the field for 6. Tackled by Anthony Hitchens. And they're going to mark it just short, or nope, it is enough. First down.
And I believe that's what I was referencing to us, wasn't he, about the athletic, the ability to make a cut, make people miss, get upfield. Hunter Renfrow, people do underrate as part of his game.
7 completions, 9 of them 85 yards. Hard, deep drop, looking, throws high, handled Moreau, and then forced out of bounds by Matthew, who tackled him earlier in the game. 5-yard gain through the air. Tyrann Mathieu punching at the ball. Raiders have short of the 45-yard line, trailing 38-3. Raiders in jeopardy of falling a game under 500, and just look at the numbers in the AFC, the way things stack up in the standings. Even if they ran the have a tough time making the playoffs. Find a soft spot to DeSean Jackson. First down, 36.
And a nice job of getting upfield after the catch and making sure there was no turnover. A lot of people see the receivers and you wonder, hey, run through tackles. Catch the football, get what you can, get down. Keep the football, more possession, much better for us. And the way this game has gone for the Raiders, a smart play by DeSean Jackson.
First catch of the day for Jackson.
The penalty flag.
Raiders pointing at the Kansas City Chiefs. Brad Allen's mic has gotten
well. There is no foul. The 12 on the field is attempting to leave. That is not a dead ball foul by rule.
Not 12 men on the field. So it's a play on. 5:50. Yeah, the turnover story, 3 of them for the Raiders. Just look at the way things have set up. When they've turned the ball, they've lost. 9 turnovers, 3 turnovers in their 6 wins. 21 points of those turnovers for Kansas City. Carr on a give. Jacobs slicing. And leads with his helmet for 3. Hit by Tershawn Wharton of Kansas City. Had a stoppage there for a moment as Brandon Parker is noticeably limping. And Jackson Barton.
He's got to go out now. People came out to attend to him, so he'll have to miss at least 1 play. And Barton will come in for him.
Yeah, there was a moment where there was a wave off from Parker, but because they stopped play, he's going to have to head to the sideline. 2nd down and 7. Each team has ran 40 offensive plays. Just one of the 2 teams has scored a lot. Carr floats it up. Too high and far for Edwards. Bryan Edwards has not been involved here offensively. Alex Okafor with the pressure on Derek Carr.
And that pressure made things go a lot quicker. Your coaches talk about all the time with quarterbacks, you want to speed up their process. And that's exactly what Okafor did, because Derek Carr wanted to come out and set it and throw back to Bryan Edwards. But because he forced it so quickly, he put it up there and floated it, hoping Edwards.
Third down and 7. Carr steps, throws, and hits. Hunter. Knocked down. Ankles. 19 yards. Mike Hughes over there defensively.
How about the pocket to create and turn it into a jump pass to get it to Renfrow, and then Hughes with extra effort swiping at the ankle and getting enough to knock Hunter Renfrow down.
It's a new career high for Hunter Renfrow. 10 catches today. He's got 100 yards. 4.5 to play in the 3rd. Carr floats it. End zone. Incomplete. Moreau, the intended target. Daniel Sorensen among those back there for Kansas City.
Sorensen in trail technique at the hip of Moreau. Never the football, but he sees the hands of Moreau come up to catch the football. So he plays. Good job using his right hand to go through the body of Moreau to knock that away.
Second down, 10. Valve, Renfro. And he drives it inside the 10-yard line, short of the first down. 11 catches for Hunter Renfro. Third straight game with 100 more receiving yards of his career. Remember, a walk-on at Clemson. Amazing what Hunter Renfro's hard work, talent have turned into here at the professional level.
Full quarterback, played for his dad, Tim Renfro.
Third down and 4. Crowd the line, a jump. He put it at the feet of Renfro. Frank Clark trying to get the advantage.
He got every bit as well.
Offside. Defense number 55 moved into the neutral zone prior to the snap. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So a lot of 8 of them against Kansas City, 7 accepted penalties against Las Vegas.
First and goal, Raiders.
So first and goal for the Raiders. The best drive of the day for this Las Vegas. Carr is now 21 of 32, 189 yards and a pick. Just a point towards the Kansas City defense. Not sure what Brad Allen is discussing with officials huddled up at the line. And this will be the 10th play of the drive for Las Vegas.
And despite your rapport with all these referees, he doesn't share it with you.
Nope. He's going to keep this one to him.
Between him and the guys in the stripes.
That's for Brad.
Yep, that's it.
First and goal. Take the handoff. Carr caught. Renfro, touchdown, Raiders. So the long drive ends up with a Hunter Renfro touchdown.
Only way to describe this route, look at what he did. How many moves did he put into that? He passed into a very short space, and because of their connection, because of the time on task that they've spent together, to Carr and Renfro, he was able to delay the throw to understand all the extra moves that came with it, and it paid off with a touchdown.
Big numbers for Renfro. And the extra point, no good. Carlson is now 23-26 point afters this season. 38-9. Football's iconic show in Tuesdays at 9:30 on Paramount Plus. Hunter Renfro, he is leading the team in just about every possible receiving category. Derek Carr, when asked about he looks to Renfro so often, he says he's open. It's pretty simple.
Anyone would want to have and where the ball goes, but that type of reliability and production, it's hard to turn down.
Coming out to the 20. Well, for Kansas City, how important is this? We want to keep the winning streak alive, but also that #1 seed. That is what they are laser focused on, considering where this group was after that loss to Tennessee. Turned it around, led by the defense. Here this afternoon for Vegas. 6-7 would be a serious.
Remember, they've lost tiebreakers for Kansas City. Baltimore, that's a problem for them.
First down, Mahomes, swing it, caught by Edwards-Helaire, makes a move, and he's Like Devon Diablo, when you asked him who were the guys that he looked to as a young man, he said, well, first VHS tape I had was Barry Sanders. And then when I started watching football, my guy, Brian Brook and Darren, and who coached those guys in Philadelphia?
Hold up. Wait, hold on a second.
It's not multiple choice.
Andy Reid. Thank you.
And he said that was who he visualized as an NFL head coach. For whatever reason, that was the guy that resonated with him when he was watching football as a kid. And off again, Edwards-Helaire trying to dish out a little punishment, as we said.
Yeah, how cool is it that in the pre-draft process, Andy Reid saw the similar, just Edwards, who built it, saw it in him. He also said that having a relationship where he's able to talk to a guy like Darren Sproles has meant the world to him.
Yeah, Evan, I love that. And Andy Reid brought it to him during the pre-draft process. Hey, you know Brian Westbrook? You know Darren Sproles? And my coaches, I see you just like them, as Evan described. And remember, in college, he was coached by a guy by the name of Kevin Falk. Yep. Who knows, understands a thing or two about NFL running game.
Mahomes sending his receiver downfield, launches just a little offline with Tyreek Hill. And a flag is down at the 42-yard line.
Holding. Defense, number 34. 5-yard penalty.
This drive will continue. Jonathan Abram called on the penalty.
And that's the bugaboo of Jonathan Abram's game. Unfortunately for him, he does a lot of things really well. A dynamic, striking hitter when he tackles people. But coverage is just not the A-plus part of his game. And so when people get opportunities to run routes and get guys against him, they try and take advantage of it as much as possible as he continues to work on that aspect.
Derek Gore now in the backfield. New set of downs to work with. Mahomes. Sidearm toss to Josh Gordon. So this might be an opportunity just to work Gordon in a little bit more. Get him some extra reps here. Get him into a rhythm offensively. When they acquired him, Charles, I know for you, me, Evan, the rest of our crew, when we would have our discussions, we thought, wow, this could bring a whole new element to the offense. We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and for them, the eye is towards the playoffs. I mentioned the tiebreakers. Baltimore has it on Kansas City right now, so does Tennessee. But if you can get into that playoff situation, develop a third receiver, and that's what they're looking for. McCole Hardman has lost playing time because they don't believe he's developed into that third guy that they want after Hill and Kelsey. Byron Pringle got an opportunity, had a couple of drops last week. Is DeMarcus Robinson the guy? To me, that third receiver is going to be a combination of Darrell Williams and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the running backs. That's where it's going to develop for them. But if Josh Gordon can jump up there, you're exactly right, Ian. That'd be huge for them.
34.
Under a minute to go now in the third. 1st and 10 at the 46-yard line. Handoff. Gore cannot get out of the clutches of Max Crosby.
Boy, does he play hard. I mean, I'm talking about, we talk about people all the time have a high motor and this, that. Max Crosby, that second X on the MAXX, that second X is giving him that extra power because this guy, every single snap, no matter what the scoreboard, he's going to play hard. Does he have as many sacks as he wants? No. But still playing the run in a game like this and playing it well.
And that's going to do it for the third quarter. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the verge of winning their 6th in a row. It's been a Chiefs party here this afternoon in KC. We'll have the 4th. The Chiefs and Raiders on. It's an Andy Reid kind of day. Last 5 possessions, touchdown, 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 touchdown. Field goal.
What happened on that drive?
They had a set.
A little breakdown. It's interesting that they play Thursday night on the road against the Chargers. Quick turnaround. If they score here or have a good drive here, you think we might start to see a few other guys?
Don't we?
We ask that question every week. Right?
Every week when you're in a blowout, and a lot of coaches that will just tell you, no, that's not how we do it.
I remember asking Bruce Arians that when he was head coach of the Cardinals about taking Carson Palmer out, and he looked at me and just looked at me, and that's pretty much the end of it.
Yeah. Why would I do that?
But we just moved on. Okay, got my answer.
From the 46, this is a 3rd and 10 for Kansas City. Mahomes, dump it off, catch made. Gore, he's got a first down. Hit down low by Merrick. It's enough to move the chains for KC.
Did you see Trey Smith, 65, the rookie out of Tennessee, leading? But before it all started, he was out in space, standing stationary, almost like he was waiting for a verbal cue that the ball had been caught and it was time for him to move. And once he did, he got out in front before Merrick made the stop with Gore.
And the Chiefs are now inside the Las Vegas 40. Outside pass, and it is too far for Josh Gordon. Looks like Mahomes was indicating it may have been tipped.
I do believe you are onto something, though, Ian, about Josh Gordon and what they're doing with him. You know, they're not just calling plays strictly for him, but at the same time, if it's possible to get him a few more touches, it certainly feels like Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid have an eye towards continuing to develop him and seeing what they can get as they head towards the playoffs.
Josh Gordon is 30 years old. He went to the Pro Bowl in 2013 with Cleveland, stints with New England and Seattle. Running play for Gore. And he leans forward to the 35, hit by Max Crosby. It was always about the yards after the catch. Yeah. Big physical receiver. He got stronger through the years. The question obviously is, does he have the same talent level? Does he have the same impact potential that he once had?
That's what they're trying to find out. I don't think he's the same guy, but that doesn't mean he can't still be effective, right? He's not that same athlete he was a few years ago. But remember the other teams he joined? He played for them in the regular season, but didn't make it to the postseason.
Correct.
Kansas City hoping to reverse that trend.
3rd and 7. Mahomes. Deep ball. Incomplete. And a flag down. Gordon in a matchup with the cagey Casey Hayward.
Offside. Defense number 98. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
That's Max Crosby. I think it's the 2nd time we've got him in the neutral zone or lined up offsides in this ball game. Number 98 in white just jumped 1 step too fast. He didn't line up there. Just got caught trying to be too quick off the football. Gus Bradley there, the defensive coordinator. Another thing to try and work through, another penalty.
4th offsides for the Las Vegas Raiders. Mahomes is 19 of 23, 257 yards, 2 touchdowns. Shovels Kelsey. And he's hit by Solomon Thomas on the play.
He had to work for that. If he picked up the 1st down there, he had to work for it. He had to lower his shoulder and try and grind through, because the Raiders had the middle part of that play bogged down pretty well.
He got it. The officials have determined it is enough. Kelsey definitely has been frustrated in recent weeks with all the different looks he's had defensively, with double teams and multiple bodies heading his way. Back to Gore. Trying to jar the ball loose. They could not. Diablo got himself in there along with Quentin Jefferson. Gain for Derek Gore.
But to your point about Kelsey, if I told you he has 27 yards receiving, didn't it feel like more?
It did.
It's because he had that 19-yarder. So he had a 19-yarder. He's had 3 catches today, 27 yards. He has been bogged down a little bit lower on this end of the yardage factor than he has been for most games. But still, you better keep an eye on him. He can wreck you inside.
2nd and 7, Blake Bell, the motion man. They'll mess it around. They'll just run it up the gut with Gore. So that's been the one change that we have seen, is Edwards-Helaire and Darrell Williams on the sideline. Gore getting the lion's share of the carries. Tyreek Hill remains in there. Kelsey is in there. Obviously, Mahomes is still in there with Just under 11 minutes to play. They've been rotating Bell and Gray at that other tight end position.
Hey, come on, white.
3rd down and 3. Delayed give. Gore, nice cutback ability, but he didn't get enough. Hankins and Crosby collaborate to limit him to a 2-yard pickup. Clock is rolling, though, and that's as much a focus for Kansas City. They're going to send Harrison Butker out there. I think Mahomes wanted to go for it.
Andy Reid looking at the scoreboard. I do know that he's thinking about Thursday night as well.
Absolutely.
And then coming back here for Pittsburgh the next week. Plenty of points on the board. Get Butker some more work. And get those guys off the field rather than running more plays.
37-yard attempt for Butker. And Andy Reid says, I'll take that. Frustration has been building. Max Crosby taking it out on his helmet as well next time.
A table would be nice.
A table would be nice. Cutlery. Whatever. All the fixins.
Maybe a drink.
I mean, that's bonus. I'm not even expecting that.
Like sweet tea for me to go with my barbecue.
Butker. Another big kick from Butker coming out to the 25. Coming up next, we are set for an interconference battle in Tampa. Josh Allen and the Bills take on Tom Brady and the Bucs. Game 2 of our NFL on CBS doubleheader coming up next.
And that game is a great example of one team truly got to have it, and that's Buffalo.
That was wild. Against the Patriots. Derek Carr to throw it. They get Peyton Barber in there, and Barber creates after the catch. He made DeAndre Baker miss and then angled out of bounds across the 35. Good for 11.
Yeah, that Buffalo-New England game, very similar to our Army-Navy game that we carry every year. You know, they asked Jeff Monken at halftime, head coach at Army, about the passing game. Do you want to see it? He said, no, I want to run the football more. That's who they are. Navy with a big win. Congratulations to the midshipmen.
First down run. Barber's got a little pop. Good block from Leatherwood on that far side to spring Barber for 7.
And we are seeing some substitutions that we kind of discussed. Armani Watts, I believe number 23 in the ball game. I don't see Tyrann Mathieu out there anymore.
So Watts getting a chance here. They're going to start sliding in some of the second teamers. Carr, catch by Jones, and a hit immediately on the play. They got stamped by DeAndre Baker. But good enough for a first down. Out near midfield. 8:22 and counting left in this fourth quarter. 41-9. Kansas City looking to improve to 9-4 on the season. Carr. Peyton Barber couldn't catch it. Incomplete. Derek Carr, 209 yards through the air. Looks like Kansas City could be making a change with Chad Henne at least doing some jumping along the sideline to get himself prepared.
Well, the sidelines are in shadows, so he might be a little bit chillier.
Tyrann Mathieu is going to go to the hat. We got a 2nd and 10. Carr, floater, caught, Barber. And Mike Danna read it well. They pick up just a yard. Well, the last meeting was a 41-14 win for Kansas City. They really took control of the game late, and it left a bitter taste in the mouths of the Raiders, thinking, all right, basically everything at stake, playoff hopes at 6-6, go in, shock the league, and they just got off to the most brutal start imaginable. Carr steps up. Carr gets crushed. The ball pops free, and the play is whistled down.
The runner was down.
Well, this one's quarterback trying to create a play, but the pass rush had gone upfield and then came back and got him.
Alex Okafor absolutely blasted Derek Carr.
And there's a case to be made that that's a fumble, and Kansas City will have possession. Because it was blown dead, that could be an issue, but the possession was clearly established for Kansas City.
Kansas City is challenging the ruling on the field of down by contact.
That ball, I believe, was working its way free before Derek Carr hit the ground.
Challenge has been made here in the fourth. It has been reversed. This was a fumble on the hit by Okafor, but because the play was whistled dead, Kansas City doesn't get what would have been a touchdown. They do get possession because it was a clear recovery for the Chiefs. And Chad Henne is in the game at the 7:28 mark of the fourth. Handoff for Derek Gore. Gore's got a hole. Gore has got speed, and Gore is gone. Touchdown, Kansas City. 51 yards. So they get the touchdown anyway.
Backup offensive line for the most part in, creates a nice hole, good hesitation by Gore, and then just clear sight lines, and as you described, time for the burners, and he's gone. Good block there is Trey Smith up front. Allegretti was in the ball game. Austin Blythe at center. Chopped a nice hole in the middle.
Extra point, Butker. 48 points on the board. And Derek Gore goes the distance. Injury here for Kansas City. The Raiders have been overmatched. Kickoff from Butker. We'll be back in 30 seconds right after this.
Our Fairbanks, Alaska store is closest to the North Pole, which has folks wondering, does Santa shop at the Home Depot?
No comment. No comment.
No comment.
Both teams have lost back-to-back games. Win for the Cincinnati Bengals. They come into Las Vegas.
We don't know why.
It's elves.
Come on, Bryce.
Find everything you need to make the holidays yours. And maybe Santa?
Santa, I'm Keith.
At the Home Depot, how doers get more done.
I've never seen a big guy wear flip-flops.
$7:19 to go. Raiders have it at their own 25-yard line. Derek Carr working out of the gun. He's got a 5-receiver set. They put up 231 yards of offense. Another pass to Hunter Renfrow. Good for his 13th catch of the day. Brought down by Mike Hughes. He's been targeted 14 times. Also new running back Trey Regis, a rookie out of Louisiana. In for the first time, just elevated off the practice squad. Motion man is Moreau. Second down and 7. Handoff for Regis. Off the hesitation. And he is spun down. Good enough for a first down. Picks up 9 yards on the play. Down to 6.5 remaining. Renfro's numbers through the roof here this afternoon. 13 catches, 117 yards with a touchdown. 30 catches in his last 3 games. That's the most in a 3-game span in team history.
The unfortunate part for him is his team is going to, at the end of this one, be 1-2 in those 3 games.
Yeah, they're not translating on the scoreboard. Had an opportunity last week, lost to Washington. Carr sacked once again. Okafor has been a thorn in the side of Carr.
Number 97, he caused a fumble on the last possession. This time he just takes Brandon Parker, the right tackle, and walks him back to the quarterback and finishes at the quarterback. And I know the hopes seem to be slim at this point for the Raiders in terms of playoffs, etc. But if you have any thought about that last run, do you think about Derek Carr coming off right now? Being your guy down the stretch?
Marcus Mariota, the backup. We see him in there occasionally. Catch. Zay Jones hit right away by Watts. They pick up 5. Yeah, you think back to last week as well. Merrick had a chance to end the game with an interception.
Yes.
Game over.
Dropped it.
So you come in instead of 6-6 or 7-5. You got a little more wiggle room in the AFC, even to absorb a loss.
First game against Kansas City, had a chance to end a drive with an interception. Dropped it in the very next play. Mahomes hits Darrell Williams for a touchdown. Game plays like that. Those are the things that define playoff teams versus non-playoff teams.
No doubt.
Making those types of plays.
3rd down and 8. Carr delivers it. Catch and acceleration by Jones. Good enough for a first down. We're down to 4.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. When we asked Rich Bisaccia about the week, the preparation, he said, look, we've run the emotional gamut this year with this group. We also understand what's at stake, what we need to do. He said he's been proud of this team because they do play to the bitter end. That's emblematic. But the start was the problem. Bryan Edwards with his first catch of the day. Working that sideline for 6. Stay tuned. NFL Today update, time permitting. JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher. Latest NFL scores and highlights. So this is window dressing right now for the Raiders on offense. Kansas City has put up 374 yards of offense. Their defense has been fantastic. Raiders have 260 yards of offense. 4 turnovers for Las Vegas. Carr, soft toss, catch made. Regis couldn't stay on his feet because of Watts. They pick up 2.
Last ball game, Kansas City put what, 501?
Yes.
On the Raiders. You're talking about nearly 900 yards of offense in 2 games. Kansas City against this Raiders defense.
Last week, Kansas City only had 267 yards of offense against Denver in that 22-9 win. Carr throws on the move, snagged by Edwards. And that's a first down for the Raiders. They allowed 404 to Denver, but they came up with huge stops against the Broncos.
Nice move there by Edwards, and then he realizes his quarterback needs a little bit of help, continues across the field. Got into his eyesight, into his sight line, was able to make the connection and gain a first down.
Other thing for Kansas City, they're looking for their 6th straight AFC West title. They have dominated this division. Chargers trying to make a push to change that. Regis, now you can hear the pads popping after he took that shot from Baker and Bolton. 4-yard gain through the air.
Remember, the Chargers came in here earlier this season and beat this Kansas City team with a late touchdown. Justin Herbert to Mike Williams in a time where they thought they would kick a field goal, and they went for it late, scored the touchdown, and that ended up being the game winner.
Counting down to the 2-minute mark. Carr throws. Grabbed by Jones, loses the ball, turnover number 5. Hughes knocks it free and recovered by Thornhill. This Kansas City defense, it's back. The Chiefs.
This is sponsored by Bud Light Seltzer. If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride.
Kingdom rejoicing today here at GEHA Field and Arrowhead Stadium. 48-9. Second most points they have ever scored against the Raiders. They put up 56 back in 2013. Now the Chiefs just looking to run out the clock with the kneel down. Raiders have timeouts, not going to use it. They want to get out of here as well. For the Raiders, up next at Cleveland on Saturday, then home for Denver. We mentioned the Chiefs will be at the Chargers for the quick turnaround on Thursday night. Then they will host the Pittsburgh Steelers. Six straight games where the Chiefs have allowed 17 points or fewer. All of them wins.
It's amazing how smart Steve Spagnuolo got from week 5 till now. Works like that every time, doesn't it?
Bonus coverage coming up. Cleveland and Baltimore. They've got 2 minutes left with the Browns holding on to a 24-15 lead. Final seconds here in Kansas City. And he takes the knee, and that is it. Kansas City improves to 9-4 on the season. The Raiders fall to 6-7. The Chiefs very much in the hunt for the #1